All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about Love and Marriage DC edition. So if this is content that you enjoy, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like, request notifications,
and share.
And we will see you in the comments. And let us know, so because this is part 2 or the last part of the season finale for their first season. Do you think they're getting a second season?
I don't know, because if Winter's not there to give drama, what are they going to talk about?
Yeah, because the winter storm hopefully is over. And we'll talk about it in the recap. But yeah, she got exposed as far as just loving the drama more than anything, right? But I think they're going to get a second show. I mean, listen, Huntsville has lasted 5 seasons now, and
because they kept the mama on who creating drama.
Well, but there's still also the drama between Martell and his wife. And
so you want who's gonna create the drama?
I think there's going to be another couple that gets added.
Oh, okay.
Because there was that 4th couple that was kind of in the background.
Oh, that didn't say much.
Like, I can't even remember bro man's name. I know his wife was Tasha or something like that.
Yeah.
But bro man, I don't remember his name. So they may find another couple to slide in there.
Yeah, but if they ain't creating drama, is there a show really?
Or Winter might get married again to somebody who lives in their grandmother's basement.
Shut up.
Who knows? We'll see. All right. So the recap starts, or the reunion starts. I got a bunch of re's, right? The reunion picks back up, and we kind of pick up where we left off, where Ashley and Winter are kind of going back and forth.
Right.
Ashley says that Winter has a friend that she keeps trying to act like they're platonic or they're not sleeping together, that she's remaining celibate. And Ashley like, no, we know y'all messing around.
But I'm trying to figure out, they were saying something about a relative, or I was so confused about how they think it's whoever she's messing with is giving her this information.
We almost needed a whiteboard to diagram
the lines of, and you think, because I think
coworker said to her friend who is Winter's, it was like, look,
we don't take, I was so confused. Only thing I know this, supposedly that Winter has receipts. Supposedly
she says she's got texts, pictures, and
records, whatever. And Ashley's like, you a
doggone liar.
And then Quick, he's like, I gotta get in this, so I'm gonna go after your man.
Quick, like, I'm gonna call your man a female dog. I'm not talking to you.
But if you're with him,
but your man is a female dog, and I want to make it very clear.
Because he's a part of this, and we're just listening, and I'm just like, okay. And then, Jamie, he pipes up, he's like, listen, I got a family, I got a business to run, and either you're going to produce something, or you're going to keep your mouth closed.
And I don't know you. Nobody I know knows you.
Right.
The only people in DC that know you seem to be Monique.
Right.
So,
who are you, really?
Like that scripture. Paul, I know. Right. Jesus, I know. But who are you?
Who are you? He's like, who are? He's probably like, I could probably find enough dirt on you if I wanted to.
Well, she spilled all her dirt. She told her dirt, right?
Did she spill all her dirt?
She spilled the dirt that thought was going to get her sympathy, right?
Right.
But she, and here's the thing that I find irritating is that she basically keeps, bringing up these rumors, these texts, these photos, and they're like, okay, produce it. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't feel that it's my place. And Jamie and a few of them were saying, well, why bring it up?
Why?
If you're not, if you're going to bring up the accusations,
right,
bring it out. They're asking for it.
Right.
It's not like they're saying, I don't want to know. I don't. Bring it.
Jamie's like, email my wife. Send it to me. And DJ Quicksilver, he's like, listen, this ain't new for us.
Right.
He was like, we've gotten stuff before. And Ashley was in the club when I took the picture with the girl. But you're saying, see, he's seeing some other chick. And he's like, no, I took a picture with her because people ask for pictures.
Right.
That don't mean we're together or sleeping together.
Right. And he's like, yes, I poured drinks in the mouths of party goers.
Right.
That's part of what we do. And he's like, but Ashley's right there for a lot of it. He's like,
and Ashley's done it too.
Right.
So,
because he's like, we fact check. We go back and we're like, nope, this is exactly what happened.
Exactly.
So
I mean, and then Ashley got very. She said, unless I see his behind up in the air, and he butt naked, you ain't proving nothing to me.
Right.
So it was just a back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then finally at the end, because, well, we got to admit when Monique says, when Winter says, I would have never been part of the show if I knew there was going to be so much drama involved. And Monique was like, you started it.
Dummy, you started the drama.
You brought it with you. And we find out that Monique, and her husband both talk to her.
Yes.
So after someone tells you, like, look, what you think this reality show is, because you're watching all these other reality shows, we're not that reality show.
They're like, this ain't Real Housewives.
Right.
That's not how we get down.
Right.
And yeah, I think that I appreciate them making the effort to at least control or at least try the narrative and the story, right?
Right.
Not that you're trying to present a fake story, but
right.
you don't. There's some shows. Here's the thing: Jerry Springer did what Jerry Springer did,
right,
which was different from what Oprah would do, right?
Right.
There's a place for both of them,
right?
But you determine whether you want to be Oprah,
right,
or you want to be Jerry Springer,
right.
And so I appreciate the fact that they're like, we'd rather take the high road,
right,
and show love and marriage. That's an interesting concept. The name of the show is Love and Marriage.
Right.
Let's show love and marriage.
Right.
That in itself already has its ups and downs.
It does.
Right.
And guess what? Sometimes it's not dramatic. Sometimes it is pretty much a grind or something that you do every day.
Or figuring out how to navigate careers. Mm-hmm. For example, with Chris and Monique, figuring out how to navigate. He has retired.
Right.
She's now coming into her own in some things as far as her career. Mm-hmm. Same thing for Quick and Ashley. Now, that to me is a storyline, right?
Right.
Without all the added of somebody cheating.
Right.
Because, newsflash, I know marriages are in trouble. Marriages do go through problems, right?
Right.
But I don't believe that every marriage or the majority of marriages have infidelity as a storyline in there, so.
No, not at all. Or give enough people to talk or tweet about, or different things like that. And so Winter's looking all confused why Monique is saying all this. But supposedly at the end of this, she's apologizing for the third time. And Ashley is like, no, I don't accept her apology.
I accept, because she's like, her and Quick are like, the first apology, we thought that was the end of it. Mm-hmm. But then you go on Instagram, you go on your social media and you start talking stuff again. Mm-hmm. So then it's like, what's the use of accepting your apology if you keep doing there's a whole thing we could talk about as far as forgiveness. Yes, you can forgive because you're not going to allow them to live rent free in your head.
Right.
But that don't mean I got to continue to give you space.
Right.
Right.
You don't have to be around me.
So then there is also, and then the other thing that Ashley said, and I was like, look, again, I like Ashley. Ashley is straight to the point. Right. Ashley was like, you are too grown to have somebody to have to tell you to not deal in rumors. It was great when we were in third grade. You were, telling rumors about folks, on the playground. But if you 20, 30, 40, whatever your age is, you shouldn't have to tell somebody, a grown person, don't deal in rumors.
Right.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So then we also get the Monique in the middle montage, just kind of showing how she tried to walk that fence. Mm-hmm. Again, her and Winter have known each other for 16 years, but they're not close friends.
No. Mm-mm.
So Winter says they maintain their relationship, which essentially means that they still don't talk as often as it might have been themed, right? But Monique also is like, she thinks that Winter is there primarily for the drama, and that she loves the reality space for that.
It's possible.
I believe so.
You know, there's some people who started out like when reality TV was starting to just kick off, you know, especially where we saw more African Americans in this space. And we noticed that people end up becoming a villain.
Right. They become the meme.
Right. Or they become the one that's causing all the drama. And then you find them on another reality TV show trying to take off all those layers of becoming this, you know, alter ego.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because there was I guess on the after party or whatever with Carlos, where Winter was commenting on Jamie and Arena's marriage.
Right.
And they were like, we don't know you. How can you talk about my marriage if you don't know me?
Right.
So, and then Quick made a great commentary. He said, you know, rumors, allegations, and reality TV don't destroy strong marriages. They ruin weak marriages, right?
Or they expose
weak marriages, right? And that's anything that's put under pressure. If it's not strong enough to withstand the pressure, it's going to fail, right? And so I appreciate for them saying, look, this isn't going to break us. There's other stuff that could have broken us. There's other stuff that could have caused us to quit. This ain't it. So then we get to Jamie and Arena talking about raising kids, because I think those are the only ones that we saw their kids like interacting, right?
And they're older. They're older. They're adults. Where you know, Monique and Chris' kids, they're young.
And same thing. I think we saw briefly Quick and Ashley's kids, right? So then, you know, there's this conversation about raising kids, and Arena starts talking about how, you know, when the kids were younger, she did a lot of the raising. She learned Braille, which I think is excellent. That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Right? But she learned Braille so that she could communicate and make sure that her son was doing his work and getting everything right.
So she can read it and stuff.
But she also, you know, is pointing out how Jamie was busy with work and with building business and traveling, what have you. And they kind of get into this discussion, animated discussion, if you will, about, you know, that he's kind of taking offense and that she exaggerates, and he feels like he's not getting his props.
I'll let you go first on that one. What are your thoughts about his perspective?
So I think Jamie, and I know Jamie watches some of these from various bloggers, what have you, right? But I think Jamie's personality and the way he approaches things is he's concerned about the optics. Right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because there's the outtake where he's, you know, why are you bringing up this stuff from 20 years ago for marriage counseling? So it's that balance of, is it relevant to us now to be part of our story? Or is it background that may help to understand kind of where we are and how we've grown from that? And so I think that it was a lot of emphasis was put on, and a lot of emphasis has been put. Again, I don't like the storyline that they've put on Jamie as far as being aggressive, being a bully, being this and being that. And so I think that this can feed into that, but I think it was too much time and effort spent on something that, like he said, was 20 years ago, even though for her, there's still maybe some things to work through. So I get that too.
Yeah, I think for me, it's trying to figure out, because it's like almost, how did this come up, you know, and why she felt it necessary to bring it up, right? But I get it from this perspective of any woman who hears, you know, I had to take on this load, you know, because even in our head as women, we feel it. We put the pressure on ourselves to take on that load. And sometimes we want our spouse to tell us, you don't need to take this on.
Gotcha.
Go for a weekend with your girls. I got it this time. But when the pressure is not taken off of that we create in our own head, then we feel like there was no one there for us. Because there are times where we'll just take the effort. We don't say, okay, you want to do it this time or no. Because I've done the same thing. I've automatically like taking off work, not saying, okay, at the beginning, not saying, okay, do you want to do it this time or not? You were making more money than me, you know, and then I came to a point where I was like, why am I always doing the one? Because again, I did feel like I was making the sacrifice. But I never had that discussion with you. Only thing I said was, okay, babe, it's going to have to be your time. I can only take out so much time. It's your time to take off. You know, so I think for her, even though I hear what he's saying that supposedly they did talk through this in therapy, I think it's always a great point to bring out for a couple that's older if there's a wife who did the same thing. They put their own pressure on themselves. They took the most of the burden of but they never expressed it with their spouse, and their spouse never took the initiative to unleash the load that they had put on themselves.
Because I mean, for us, for example, when I was doing my master's program, you did a lot to kind of keep things going, right? And I definitely value that, appreciate that. And then when I was thinking about going for my doctorate, you were like, well, hold on. You're like, wait. And I was like, okay, because you communicated, let's do this because we need to make sure that things are secure here. And I was like, okay, I was cool with that. And so, part of it is just having that communication as a couple to say, hey, these are some things that I'm feeling. That way you don't 20 years later have to have this conversation on national TV. Right.
Or maybe Jamie understanding this is not about Arena, but Arena saying, I'm gonna bring this out for women who have been married over 20 years. And there's women maybe who have younger kids, which Monique and Ashley do. But even though now Monique and Ashley are getting out in their space and they have husbands that are pushing them out. But when you're young in your 20s, you think this is the traditional role of what a wife does and a mother does, you know, instead of having the opposite, like, no, we really are going to take turns and doing all this stuff
to do what you need to do. Absolutely. So then the two sons do come out. So Jamie and Jason come out. Jason, who, if you remember, is visually impaired. He's like, he knows he's the fan favorite. He's like, I'm like, up to 2. My IG is popping now.
Hey, he got more than me, so he's doing good.
By the way, go follow our conversations with the Crawleys on IG. We're building that up too. And also the merch store down there. Listen. Get yourself a shirt, support the channel. But he says that he's making progress on getting out the house. He's in the program. Remember, he got into the program, so he's making progress with that, and things are moving forward. And he still wants to work for Apple. And I think Apple would be hard, you know, maybe, you know, it would be good for Apple maybe because he said, you know, we were thinking like, oh, he wants to work for Apple just because he likes it. But he's like, no, I can show how people who are disabled, who have disabilities, can use the phone. So I'm like, that's perfect, right?
Because at the end of the day, they still have to communicate, you know? And so making it so that it's functional for them is just as important as someone who can hear or see. And I've learned, I know they've had some commercials about certain phones do certain things for those who have some type of disability. So I'm like, hey, go for it.
Go ahead and get that money, dude.
But we can't forget that Jamie, this was a time where he broke down talking about his sons and the dreams he has for them and everything.
So again, I think just to kind of contrast, as much as this story has been put out about him being aggressive, abrasive, what have you, you can see that he cares about his family.
He cares about his family.
So let's not take that away from him. He cares about his family. And yes, he may be protective to a fault, even of how they're presented, but it's out of care and concern. So, and Jason is like, look, if I can get a girlfriend through this show, let's make that happen. So if Carlos comes up with a dating show for Jason.
That would be interesting. There would be a twist to that. You know, that would be interesting.
So, and then little Jamie, who we know was we saw at the last episode, is in having a court case. So that's still going on. There's not been any decisions on that.
Because it started all over because they put federal charges on him.
Yeah. Felonies, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and to see a family go through that, we talked a little bit about them when they had talked to him, had just came from court, and then they had to spend time with their friends, Chris and Monique and Ashley, and saying like their life had to still go on, you know, and little Jamie understanding, he's like, me and my dad are definitely in a better space.
Right.
I'm doing what I need to do now to move forward. My family is seeing that. I want to get away from all the wrong crowd and move forward. And he's like, I'm hoping based upon what my lawyer is telling me and where we are, that hopefully I don't have to spend any time in jail. Because I wouldn't wish that on anyone's child to have to go through that, for them to learn their lesson, right? Because we're trying to be hard-headed. Our parents don't know. You know, we're trying to buck against our parents, saying they don't know any better. You know, like, get all that rebellion stuff out of the way and just make a decision like, okay, maybe they are a little overbearing and stuff, but at the end of the day, they have my best interest at heart, you know. And I think every adult has to look back and say, hopefully most parents have their best interests.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's pretty much the reunion, right? They kind of do talk through as far as where things are. So Ashley has her book
that's out.
That's out that she's working to push out, I should say. And then Quick has opened up his second DJ school. His radio show is now syndicated.
10 cities.
Yeah. So kudos for that.
And he's supposed to be vacationing more.
Yes.
Because you want to be able to live to enjoy all this money you're making. So good that he's making those decisions.
Yep. Because we got plans. We want to try and go.
Yeah, we want to try
cruises
to do something.
and go to the motherland and hit up Dubai.
Right. So
yeah. And then Jamie, he's like, he's good now. Things are going well for him. Arena is working on a product. So I guess look for that, ladies.
Right.
And then Monique and Chris, they're in a better space.
Right. They're in better space.
Chris like, I ain't got no job, man.
But I was like, he shouldn't take for granted that he's taking care of the kids.
Right.
And if we're going to say that's a job for women, it's a job for him.
That's his job right now.
That's his job, being dad.
He's a stay-at-home dad.
He's a stay-at-home dad. He's been gone for a while. Now he can bond with the kids and, you know, do what children need to see their fathers doing. Taking care of them and loving on them. So.
Yep. So that's it for the show. They did kind of keep cutting away and saying, where's Winter at? Where's Winter? Listen, winter is over. Winter storms are done, hopefully.
Hopefully spring is about to appear.
Listen. All right, but listen, that's it. Y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications, share, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.